Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, canines and felines, welcome back to another episode of Timeless Sagas. Today, we're going to delve into one of the most enduring and heartwarming partnerships in human history. That's right, we're talking about the domestication of dogs. Throughout history, our four-legged friends have provided us not only with companionship and love but have played crucial roles in hunting, herding, and so much more. So, grab your pup, a bag of treats, and let's embark on this tail-wagging journey into the past. Now, before we dive into the hows and whys of dog domestication, let's get one thing straight: dogs didn't just appear out of thin air. They're the result of a long process of evolution and domestication from their wild ancestors, wolves. So, let's set the Wayback Machine to around 40,000 years ago, when humans were still living in caves and wearing the latest in mammoth fur fashion. In those times, humans and wolves were both hunters, often competing for the same prey. But wolves, being the smart cookies that they are, quickly realized that humans had some pretty nifty hunting techniques, like, for instance, driving large animals off cliffs. So, some wolves decided to follow human hunting parties, hoping to snag a piece of that mammoth pie. Now, imagine you're a human from that time, and you've just finished a long day of hunting. You're tired, hungry, and eager to share your meal with your fellow tribesmen. But, lurking at the edge of your camp, you spot a pack of wolves. They're not here to fight, but they're clearly hoping to get a share of your hard-earned meal. What do? Well, some humans decided to throw the wolves a bone, quite literally. They shared scraps of meat and leftover bones with the wolves, and, in exchange, the wolves helped to clean up camp and keep other scavengers at bay. It was an early form of mutualism, a partnership that benefited both parties. Over time, this relationship between humans and wolves began to evolve. The friendliest and most docile wolves were more likely to receive food from humans, and these traits were passed down to the next generation. As generations of wolves lived alongside humans, they gradually became tamer and more dog-like. Fast forward a few thousand years, and we've got the first domesticated dogs. These early pups were likely used for a variety of tasks, including hunting, herding, and even as living, breathing alarm systems. But how do we know all this, you might ask? Well, it's all thanks to the power of archaeology. Throughout history, humans have left behind clues about their lives in the form of artifacts, structures, and even the remains of their beloved pets. In fact, the oldest known dog burial site dates back over 14,000 years. The remains of a dog were found buried alongside a human in modern-day Germany, suggesting that not only were dogs domesticated by this time, but they were also considered important enough to be buried with their human companions. Now, let's jump forward a few millennia to ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece. In these societies, dogs were far more than just hunting companions; they were revered and respected members of the community. Ancient Egyptians believed that dogs were sacred and even had a dog-headed god named Anubis, who was responsible for guiding the dead to the afterlife. Greco-Roman societies depicted dogs as symbols of loyalty, bravery, and protection, and they featured prominently in many myths and legends. In medieval Europe, dogs continued to hold an important place in society. They were used for hunting, herding, and as guard dogs, but they also became status symbols for the nobility. Kings and queens would keep elaborate kennels, housing all manner of breeds and training them for various purposes. But it wasn't all fancy collars and heraldic crests for our canine friends. During the Middle Ages, dogs were sometimes accused of being witches, familiars, or even werewolves. These poor pups would often be put on trial alongside their human counterparts in bizarre and tragic displays of superstition and fear. Thankfully, as we moved into the modern era, our understanding of dogs and their role in our lives continued to evolve. The 19th century saw a boom in dog breeding, as people sought to create new breeds with specific traits and characteristics. While some of these breeding practices led to unfortunate health issues for certain breeds, they also resulted in the incredible diversity of dog breeds we see today. Today, dogs hold a special place in our hearts and homes. They serve as therapy animals, search and rescue heroes, and, of course, as beloved companions. We've come a long way from those early days of sharing scraps around the campfire, but the bond between humans and dogs remains as strong as ever. So, the next time you look into the loving eyes of your furry friend, remember the incredible journey our species have shared together. From wild wolves to loyal companions, the story of dogs and humans is one of friendship, adaptation, and mutual benefit, a timeless saga that continues to this day. Thank you all for joining me on this canine-centric adventure through history. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow history buffs and dog lovers. And, as always, stay tuned to Timeless Sagas for more fascinating stories from our shared past. Until next time, happy historying!